Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a great CenCal Dreamin so far. There's been so many sessions, so much good content. Last one, build versus buy, so many good points there. The intro with Apex with Miranda, yeah, just all the things. But this is a whole panel session where we're talking with our local community here in Central Valley, and let's just get things started. Bear, Maria, DeAndre, Melissa, myself included. I would love to hear more about ourselves. How did you become interested in Salesforce? So, Bear, Maria, and D, if you could give us like a brief description of what you're doing before Salesforce, and what are you doing now, Salesforce, and what are your thoughts on it so far?
Who would you like to go first?
Not up to me.
Well,
Go for
I'll
it.
go first.
Go
I'll
ahead,
go
Tia.
for it. I came into this field, the tech field. My father actually just threw a great point. You love to play video games. You love computers, all kinds of tech. He said, "Why don't you try this class out? See where it goes." So I took it, and the door was opened. I mean, coming in, I was skeptical, but after seeing the first project by a cohort, I fell in love. Um, Ever since then, this job has just blown my mind at every turn. So now it's just getting to build apps, adding this and adding that, and just seeing where your creativity will go. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Awesome. I love that. And then Bear, Maria, what were you doing before Salesforce, and what are you doing now with Salesforce, and what are your thoughts on it so far?
I'll go ahead and go if that's okay, Bear.
Yeah.
So before I was doing Salesforce, I was actually working for the school district. I had been there for about 12 years. I did various jobs there. I did, majority of it was secretary work. And then the last thing I did, I was a substitute teacher there. And when the pandemic hit, I was looking into getting into something else. My sister kept telling me to try to get into tech, and I kept telling her I'm not a techie girl like you. I don't know tech like that, and I wasn't really doing anything. I was home with the kids, so I decided to take a class, and that's how I got into Salesforce. I got offered the apprenticeship.
Hell yeah. And what are you doing now with Salesforce? Like, what does your day to day look like?
Oh, sorry, forgot that question.
No, all good.
Right now I'm a Salesforce apprentice. And I started August of last year. So I've been just learning. My first day on there, I didn't know how to get back to a playground after getting into setup. And now I'm actually working on an app with one of my friends. It's kind of like a side thing we're trying to work on. And it's where I've learned the most, where I've made the most mistakes, where I've had to Google and figure things out, and that's really helped me. We have a small part on working on Onward, and we're actually working on another app for to pitch to Bitwise right now.
Amazing. Awesome.
I actually would love to hear more information about the Salesforce apprenticeship. If you can share any more details on that.
Well, we do
For
have.
myself.
Oh, sorry, Maria. My bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Our apprenticeship it started out great because one of our leads is sitting right here, Mr. Aguilar, um, in which him and Victor. Me personally, I've dealt with Victor when I was taking my class, so I felt comfortable, and they made me feel like family. Um, but it's also taught me how to work with others with different backgrounds and attitudes, and but it's made me feel that I can step out into the tech world and not feel like I don't know, because everybody, even when I say this, everybody here at Bitwise, we all help each other in some type of way. So of course I'm gonna say it, nobody belongs here more than you. So but also, on the side note, working with Maria and working with Bear, those they're both amazing. So it's a pleasure. Working with Jay, I haven't really got to work with Jake. All I do is sponge knowledge from him, and he's also awesome. So I mean, I love it.
All right. Bear, certainly last but not least, what were you doing before Salesforce? What are you doing now with it? And like, what are your general thoughts on it so far?
So currently, I'm also a Salesforce admin apprentice through the AlphaWorks program with Bitwise, in the same cohort with Maria and Dee, actually. Prior to coming into Salesforce or any type of tech industry, I worked EMS, and then I worked labor jobs. So the idea that I would ever work anywhere near tech was not something that I thought was going to happen. I was going through some ups and downs in my life, and my wife had reached out and told me, like, hey, you're not happy doing those things, find something that makes you happy and look around. And so when I started looking around, I found Bitwise, I found the classes through various programs through my community. And they had offered me an apprenticeship and said, hey, do you want to get into Salesforce? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. And then I had to go Google what that was because I didn't know. I'd never heard of it before. In the labor industry, I'm out, doing sandblasting or I'm a supervisor for hazmat and safety. So I'd never heard of Salesforce or had any application for it there in the positions that I was in. Now, I'm getting to, like Maria said, work on building an app that we want to pitch towards Bitwise and getting to work with all the people that support me and that I get to support. And it's been a huge step forward in my life. So
We call Bear the man around
Awesome.
town. Bear has his hands in everything, so that's why we call him. I call him the man around town.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. I just want to mention too, a big part of CenCal Dreamin of why we have this event is because we want everyone to know that Salesforce and technology is not just in big cities. It's not just in San Francisco. It's not just, what people think of for Salesforce and tech. It's in San Francisco. It's starting up in LA. We're also here in the Central Valley. So my question for you is, Salesforce is all about community. What does Salesforce community look like around you?
in Bakersfield has been, in my experience in the years that I've lived here, been a very industry kind of town as far as like agriculture or oil fields. And so there wasn't much of a presence here. Since I've kind of stepped into the role that I have with AlphaWorks and Bitwise, I've gotten to engage a lot more with different parts of the community, and I've seen a lot of people start showing up, especially with Bitwise coming in, putting the buildings here and starting up the apprenticeships and the programs that we have. The community here has been building progressively. I still get to go to Fresno a lot because I know the community is a little bit more based there, and I see a lot of people showing up there. Bakersfield's starting to come together though, and so it's been really awesome to see that tech industry start to grow here and all the people that it's brought in.
Well, in my case, I can't really say too much because I migrated from Los Angeles to Bakersfield, and I have made Bakersfield my home. But Bakersfield, not Bakersfield, but Bitwise gave me the strength to make Bakersfield my home. But from what I've seen, I've talked to a few people here and there that come to me asking me about what I do, and I just give them a brief description, and the first thing I do is look Bitwise up. Look at the website. Where you might find something that might catch your attention, and take it and run with it. And I just feel like the tech industry and the tech world is already booming, and I think I want to say the next couple of years, maybe 5 to 10, it's probably going to take over. So I mean, I'm glad that I'm part of that wave and want to stay part of it and help it grow.
For myself, I'm in Ceres, California. If any of you guys know that, passing through Modesto. I think as far as the community, what it does for us, it connects us with other communities like San Francisco. I'll give an example. We went camping in over by Half Moon Bay, and we met this couple. They were van lifing, but they lived in San Francisco, and they both worked in tech. One was in biotech, and the wife was in tech. But in another situation, I probably wouldn't have anything to talk to them about, but I was able to connect in that sense. So it brings the Central Valley closer in a way to the cities where if more, let's say high school kids, teens start to learn about Salesforce, it'll give them better opportunities to better their lives. And as far as like Salesforce community within, um, that I've met, like people, it's been so, we're all diverse, and Salesforce is just for everyone. I know that, well, right now I know that I don't think I would be great in development, but I like the admin part. So there's just like Salesforce is for everyone. There's a section for you and whatever you want to work on.
Love that. And I love too because it kind of we're what you were saying there also kind of brings us to our next point too, where what do you think Salesforce and even the general tech community can do for the Central Valley? You kind of talked about it briefly just then, but like, what are some ideas that you think that Salesforce, even a general tech community, can help in Ceres or in Bakersfield? Is there any specific things you can think of? Go for it.
I do think a big part because Bakersfield has been a pretty conservative place in my experience in the years that I've been here. The number of people that it's brought in, like the diversity of people that it started to bring into my community, and the buildup of that, and watching people show up to different events like Pride events and Bakersfield cleanups, and the people that I see coming to that aren't the people that I had typically seen living here in the time that I have, and more people are showing up. So just like not just the downtown community, but the community overall, it's really increased like the culture that we have here, and made me a lot more proud to be part of it. And additionally, like people like my kids, and I have a lot of them, and so I have all these kids, and I'm looking at what their future is going to look like in a place where we live. And for the most part, I've always been like, well, we're going to have to leave. Like that's the only option that we're going to have, is to get out of here. And now I have a lot more, like it's a lot of a more bright future for them, I think, having that develop and build here. There's something that they could get into that they could be proud of and succeed in.
I agree with I agree with what Bear was saying. Like, and I think for our communities, like for example, for myself, I'm a mom of two, and when I was trying to get into something different, it was so hard because it was either going back to school and starting over on something completely separate, or finding something like this that gave me an opportunity without getting in debt more with it with school. And I think for teens growing up in our communities, giving them that opportunity to get a career with, again, without getting into debt and being able to be successful somewhere, it completely changes our communities. It gives them a better outcome for life in general, for them to be able to get well-paying jobs. And yeah.
Definitely. And then D, I think you cut out with just when I started asking the question, but we were kind of getting into it from before, from all your answers actually. But I kind of want to hone in on it more. What do you think that Salesforce and even the general tech community abroad can do for the Central Valley? Any specific examples you can think of, or even just general?
Well, I think in general, more or less, it would bring more. Just putting it out there, just to bring more people in. A lot of people are walking around like wondering what to do next. Um, we have the next generation coming in behind us. Why not give this information, give this tool that it can be taken to be used something to grow it to something bigger. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's a lot of people that's out there that do know tech, but don't know how to get into the world of tech. We want those people. It's just like, I hate to use this, but the video that I was in, and I said, we want you. Come. It's a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And I feel like if we put that energy out there, say, hey, we might not, you may not find this, but there might be something else. Come try. To put your best forward, your best foot forward. You never know where you're gonna go. I did it. Look where I am. Bear did it. Look where he is. Look where we all are because we took that first step. And a lot of people are scared to take that first step because it's the unknown. So at the end of the day, all we can do is keep continuing to put the positivity with tech and say it's not hard. Just take a step forward.
I love that. And I love that you were talking about like how there's a spot for everyone because In truth, that's how Salesforce is. There's admins, developers. Now there's brand new certs coming out. There's strategy designers, UX specialists, business analysts. There are a whole range of different roles, types that you can do in Salesforce. And so there truly is a spot for everyone, which is awesome. It's amazing to see. Now, I think we have one more question. Melissa, was this you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just want to add on to the conversation we were just having.
Mhm.
My favorite thing about Salesforce is anyone can learn it anywhere. There's Trailhead. You can live in the smallest town, in a rural area, and you can, if you have access to internet, you can go to Trailhead. You can start learning it on your own. Anyone can do it. Anyone can learn it. Anyone could be a Salesforce admin. That is probably my favorite thing about Salesforce. It's available for anyone and everyone. So tell everyone in Central Valley, join Salesforce, learn it. We need everyone over here in Central Valley.
I think every time I strap on my AlphaWorks shirt, even though Bear's wearing his, I walk outside and people look at me like, AlphaWorks? And I'll be like, yep, AlphaWorks. Look it up. Change
Melissa,
your
I
life.
talk to a lot of other apprentices because I'm always chatting with people. I'm a little chatty. And the number of other apprentices that are just with Bitwise and AlphaWorks and outside of that through like LinkedIn and contacting people in the community that I'll mention Salesforce to, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm on Trailhead. You know, I've been going through and doing that. Even the apprenticeships that have nothing to do, well, not nothing to do with, but like they're in a completely separate thing from Salesforce. A lot of those apprentices are jumping in and going through Trailhead and learning to integrate that into their, into their repertoire. And then members I've met in the community through classes, through different Discord groups and outreach programs, and I've got to share that information. Like, hey, it's free. You can just go on and learn. And so it's been really awesome I love being able to offer people opportunities and getting to have that access to something that hey, this doesn't cost you anything. Here you go. You can go learn this and develop a career. That's been really great to be able to hand to people.
Can I add something real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
And when I started my apprenticeship, I believe I was started a week before Bear. When Bear started, I spoke to him that day because we both happened to, I believe, be in the Zoom link. I was like on like my fourth module, and he goes, "Oh, I found out about it last night." He goes, "I'm like on my 10th," and his wife was having their baby that day. So like, it doesn't matter if someone is super quick or you're not as quick, but you still learn. And like now I feel so comfortable asking Bear questions, and it's just everybody can go at their own pace. That's the wonderful thing about Trailhead.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. I love it.
I agree. So let's move on to our last question. I think we can all understand how difficult it can be to get into tech. If you come from a marginalized group, what advice would you give to new trailblazers who are just setting out in Salesforce who comes from these marginalized backgrounds?
I would just tell them, don't give up. When it seems like it's too hard, it's not. You're putting extra pressure on yourself. If you don't know, ask questions. Um, I say this, Google is our friend. YouTube is our friend. Those are the two that will give you every answer in the book. But sometimes talking to somebody about it also gives you a better idea. Um, Makes it easier to map out which way you're going to go. Um, just keep pushing forward. Stay hungry.
I would add.
Sorry, go ahead, Maria.
Oh, sorry. I would add. Join LinkedIn. Look for people on there. Also, Trailhead has communities. They have like local communities, and the hardest thing for me has been like networking and actually getting the strength to go to social events because I get like social anxiety going in. But just meeting the other people around and seeing like whatever community you come from, there's probably a Trailhead community that has a group somewhere for you. Sorry, Bear, go ahead.
That right there was part of what I was thinking of right there. And then I know for myself, I'm previously incarcerated, and coming out from that and trying to find a place where I fit and find a place where I was accepted, or not just looked at and been like, okay, well, you can go away now. Um, this is a place where you can have, for somebody like me coming in, you can learn this for free. You can go and reach in, and nobody's really asking me, hey, what did you do before? They want to know what I can do now and what I've learned since then. And so there's been a lot of positive feedback from that, and I'm not getting that door shut in my face every time I turn around. I reach out to people in the Salesforce community or on LinkedIn or in my own community or outside of here. It's a lot of positive feedback and people that want to build you up, both at Bitwise and through the Salesforce community.
Because you're a lovely man, Bear. Love you, guy. That's my guy right there. That's my guy.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up for the questions that Melissa and I had for y'all. If there's anything else that you wanted to talk about, now is the time. If not, I think we good to go. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, we got a question.
It looks like we have a
There
question.
we go. Melissa, do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
Go for it, Jake.
All right. Q for Bear, Maria, and D. Since you've been in Salesforce, have you branched in any other tech stuff that you are also interested in learning?
So as far as tech stuff goes, I have got to co-teach a class, and I do enjoy like some of the development side of it. I like coding and doing things like that for fun, but what I found my actual passion for that I've really been enjoying is outreach and bringing other people into opportunities in tech, like being able to find people who would never have known that this place existed for them, or that they could succeed in something like this, and going out and saying like, hey, you can. I'm here to show you that it's real, and then getting to help build that up. So it's tech adjacent as far as like I'm trying to pull people into this environment, but that'd be as far as I branched out really at this point.
For my
sorry. Go ahead, Maria.
It's fine. For myself, I have kind of took some classes through Coursera and Udemy. I've tried stuff like that, but honestly, Salesforce is so big. And between that and being a mom of two young boys, it's hard to make time for something else for myself. But because I want to focus on Salesforce, but I have taken small little classes, but it's really hard because Salesforce is so big.
Definitely, it's insane.
Me personally, I haven't branched out anywhere else other than where I'm at. I guess you could say I am trying to start my own business, which is catering. But I mean, it's not Salesforce.
I've heard of a great platform to help support your catering business. You may have heard of it too. It's called
Jake.
No. Salesforce, man. Come on.
I know. But I mean, outside of that, I haven't made any extra pushes. I'm just like Maria. I'm just trying to focus on this, get the certs that I need.
You're forming solid trunks. That's what I like.
Hey, loyalty,
solid trunks
baby.
of a tree.
So it's all about loyalty. So before I branch out, I want to make sure I'm super proficient. So whether I stay with Bitwise or I go on to somewhere else, I can be a viable asset. It's just it's an awesome place to be. Hi.
Love it. And thank you, Ray, for the question. Do we have another question? I think we have a little bit of time here. Any more questions?
Yeah.
There we go. Daisy asks, what is the best Salesforce path for someone who's interested in data science?
Bear, you might want to take that one.
If not, I can also pitch in on this answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I would ask Jake that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If somebody asked me, I would tell them I'll get right back to you, and then I'd go message Jake. That's what I would
do. And so, yeah, no, I think there definitely is a best path. I think the best path is starting off with being an admin. And from there is a whole side of Salesforce that used to be called Einstein Analytics. I think now it's called Tableau CRM for a bit. I forget exactly what it's called right now, But that is delving much more into how do I put together actionable data to people in whatever organization you're serving and make informed decisions on it. And so basically you're able to look at all this low-lying data and present it in a meaningful way to stakeholders, clients, your boss, executives, doesn't really matter. And so I think probably going down that path right now would probably be the best suited for any sort of data analytics, data science. All right. And I think we are running out of time here quickly, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being
Thank you,
part of this
everyone.
panel. I know it's not easy speaking in public. I certainly hate it too. So you definitely helped me out as well. And yeah, no, I hope everyone had a great CenCal Dreamin', and we'll catch you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Peace.